Welcome to the Stochastic fiction game. This is a 2-hour writing game. A writing game that begins right now by pressing this button right here on this clock. Continues by creating the stochastic fiction outline. And then once the outline is opened, created, as we see right here, we're going to open it up. I'm going to spend the next hour and 59 minutes or so creating a story based upon this randomly generated script with these story elements for today's stochastic fiction game. These story elements are setting time past, setting main location, amusement park, conflict, person versus supernatural, quantity of primary characters 2, point of view 3rd, tense, past tense, genre, tall tell, format, flash fiction. Those are the story elements for today's stochastic fiction game. A minute has gone by. I have to think of a story with these story elements. And I'm always lost and a little scared when I get the genre tall tale. But at least the format is flash fiction, so if it becomes very painful, that pain won't last very long. Let's get past tense, because I'm used to writing in the present tense. That's sort of my default tense. I got to remember it's past tense, it's third person. 2 characters, person versus supernatural. So we can have a human that's alive, maybe a human that's dead in an amusement park, past. Automatically, that book that comes to mind, which I've read and seen the movie, Something Wicked This Way Comes, which is about a traveling amusement park of supernatural beings that suck out your soul and travel to the next town, if memory serves, of what that plot was. Great book. I can't write that book or that novel or that short story because not only do I have to do a tall tale, but I have to be original. I wouldn't want to be stealing from someone else's brilliant idea. But let's lift it because I have a little bit of need for that. And you always get inspired by the great ones or even the worst ones. Anything you read and consume has some inspiration for you. So we have to have an amusement park. Maybe it'll be a traveling one. We'll see. Has to be conflict, person versus supernatural. We got ghosts. We got... I swear, I feel it's like a tall tale for an amusement park. Tall tale is... How do you do a tall tale? I don't know. This is... be like the person versus supernatural in a tall tale. Like this would be a tall tale about amusement park. It would be the ultimate amusement park. That's it. You can do tall tale, and it has to be like some unbelievable feats by a something larger than life person, big. Paul Bunyan, Baby Blue Ox. Yeah, I mean, Pecos Bill, I think, was one of them. Very famous U.S. tall tale. I think it's kind of a U.S. thing. So I could have this as like a traveling I don't know what I was going to go with that. I had the idea just then. Wow. I had it flash in my mind. It had nothing to do with Something Wicked This Way Comes. And now I forgot it. Oh, that's what I had. Someone dies on a ride and is forever part of the operator. And it's like Tall Tale with Supernatural. Man. I don't know. Let's just got. I don't want to talk about this too much, but it's going to be an amusement park. It's got to be a Supernatural. It's got to be a Tall Tale. Most I'm thinking of are someone that died on a ride and has come back to run the entire amusement park. That's not really a. I mean, I don't know. It's a thing. Huh. I guess a Babe the Blue Big Blue Ox, right? It's part of Paul Bunyan. If I remember, that was an animal. It wasn't a ghost. It was something. I just don't know what. What I need it to be. I'm gonna do. I'm thinking of death. What's the name? Let's figure out the name first. And it's person versus supernatural, for hell's sakes. Like, now I gotta have the conflict between supernatural and Tall Tale. Maybe all the dead people come back in the amusement park and they have to like entertain them over and over and over and over again. It'd be a bit more horror than Tall Tale, though. Right? Like, that'd be a great horror story. Like, you're forced to like run the amusement park for all the dead people until you become dead. Or it's truly an amusement park for dead people, and it livens up at night. No one really sees or knows about it. But again, this is Tall Tale and not horror, so that's not going to fit. Like the feat of Pecos Bill was lassoing the Big Dipper and feeding the waters. Babe the Blue Ox stepped on a bunch of things, bunch of land and created Finger Lakes with its big giant hooves. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's Pecos Bill like Ghostbuster. Yeah, in the supernatural natural. That was a lot more complicated. I got to think of some American lore or myth about amusement park, like the killer ride. I think we've all had. I had one. There was an amusement park close to where I lived, and there was this. Well, there was this amusement run that actually killed somebody. And for years, it was the scary one because it sort of tilted off track a little bit. But I think one time it just fell off the track. I don't know if it killed him, but I know it gave someone some damage and a good scare. It wasn't that tall, but still, you fall from that and you have a hard, heavy car land on you, you're going to probably die. So we got to start with the death. Let's do that. Let's just go that. That's why the thing was called Wild Mouse, too. Single car scare coaster. Roller coaster. Track. Raised. And turned. A square. causing the, let's say right, causing one side of the car to lift from the tracks at sharp turn. Because if I remember right, the point of this coaster was not that it wasn't huge and you didn't get the rush of being lifted and like the G-forces of descent and then ascent. This was small, compact. It was more for like a scare tactic because you'd be like going straight and all of a sudden you turn real quick. And one of those times it didn't do sharp turns, causing one side of the car to lift from the tracks at sharp turns. It's 90-degree turns. What do they call it? The deadly mouse. The nickname Deadly Mouse. Murmured before in the lines. In the long line throughout the years because of its sharp turns and chaos until a single cart took a right turn holding only. Man, I don't have dice to roll gender. I do now. 1 male, it's only 4-sided dice. 2 male, 3 they, and 4 roll again. 3 they. We'll make this a generic name that could be labeled on anything. Maybe we'll just make it up. Who needs all these proper form names? We'll make it not too ridiculous, though. Grace. I think Grace. Let's go Grace. Holding only Grace, because they're a ghost. That's right. But who's the other character? I'm not sure. Maybe the one. This is supposed to be a tall tale. Like, it's already a horror story. Maybe this will be. It's got to be supernatural. And it could be the tall tale of like the hero amusement park ride conductor. You know. Yeah, I mean that's where I want to go with this. And we got supernatural is the conflict though. Like, how am I making a conflict with the supernatural right now? I'm setting up for there to be a supernatural connected with the story, the person called Grace. I feel conflict versus supernatural. This ain't gonna go. This is not good. I just have it in my mind right now. Let's see if I can say this out loud so I remember it. I think I got it. I think it will be the ultimate. I like that idea. Like, this is going to be the best conduct over ride ever. Can do them all. Even 3 at once. And somebody dies on a ride. And he also has saved people. We'll say that too. Has caught people from the sky bridge. Let's do that. And we'll use Grace as the person. So let's get rid of this other stuff. I might keep the wild mouse car ride as what the person falls off and they don't save. So Grace. It'd be the tall tale. This is going to be the story about the minimum wage worker that's amazing, that maybe existed back when minimum wage was worth more money than it is now, or ever, or even now. Maybe it's a little bit of a spoof. So Grace earned her second. So I got to set up the deaths of the conflict, like the first paragraph. This is flash fiction. I got 600 words, maybe 1,200 if words flow, but I mean 600 to 800. Boom, there's your story. Let's move on with life. That's what I'm aiming for. There's an hour, 44 minutes left. We'll say Green earned her 4th Employee of the Month. Of the month. Saving. Let's do the roll again for gender. This character, they save a... They save Orion. Employee, the 4th employee. The 4th employee of the month of, and I can name drop the place. Let's call it not. I think Six Flags is bought everywhere anyway, but maybe they didn't rename the one that I think Six Flags bought, the amusement park that I used to go to. Let's put this amusement park in a place where amusement parks would exist year round, and I don't have to think about that too much. I mean, would you want an amusement park in the summer in Arizona? I don't think so. That's crazy hot. All that asphalt, especially during the day when it operates. Maybe like a night one, that'd be cool. But let's just put it. Let's go. Yeah, I just need a name. I don't need a location. The name will help the location. If I want Rocky Mountain now, that'd be just terrible. I feel like we don't need a location. Let's see. Man, really, I'm wasting so much life right now just thinking of a stupid name. I've got so many things like Disneyland, Six Flags, Lagoon. I want to go with this sort of lagoon type. Like Oaks, what is that? Forest Grove, Forest Oaks. Oh man, I feel bad for not remembering that one because that's one of the cooler ones there is. Let's call it. Is this going to be? No, we're not going to do no traveling one either. Although I could do that. Make this like a Carny. The hero Carny. I know that's derogatory, but hey, I used to work on a farm, so I was a farmer. I don't know, that's not derogatory. I don't mean it in that way. I think it's just a label you put upon someone. A roadie's a roadie, a carny is a farmer. Let's just go with that. So this is going to be a traveling. That I can relate to. That you can put anywhere because they know where to go. They could go to Arizona in the spring and fall. They would just not go to Arizona during the summertime. So this is a tall tale about a carny called Grace. The legend of Carny Grace. I like that right there. That might actually have something to it. It might not be total trash. Not total. Carny Grace. So the Carny Grace. Grace earned, so past tense, earned her 4th Employee of the Month. Saving, that way, yes. Grace can operate and assemble every ride of the traveling amusement park owned by I don't know. Rhodey Amusement Park. Rhodey has got, I gotta have a can. I'm gonna do US because you're already just like, that's where it's at. Like, leave that in there. Traveling amusement park. US Rides and Joy. That's the name of the parent company. Ryan Grace. Not Ryan Grace. Saving Ryan. Ryan Wilson. After their mother, what's a ride? Like, there's that carpet one. I don't. Why would they wouldn't let no mom on with a kid? That's just stupid. Let's make this a little bit within reason. Not everyone's a Carny Grace, and really good at the legend of Carny Grace. The legend of Carny Grace. Okay. Supernatural will come in the first paragraph. Sorry for the clearing. There's life and times and body, and that's what happens sometimes. I'll try to minimize the disgusting sounds that come through. Part of the human body. It's crazy. Like, sometimes when I have to have trouble for reasons like allergies and breathing and whatnot, that it distracts thought too. It's like your focus gets pulled away with something like that, a sneeze. And then you wonder, what the hell was I doing before I was talking? I was writing. I'm trying to do that. So Grace earned her fourth Employee of the Month, saving Ryan Colston Wilson. After his friends dared him to stand at the edge. I think I could say like the flying carpet ride, the flying carpet ride. And slip and falling on the way up as the ride whooshed up, as the long ride, wide ride, still aluminium. I always forget aluminium carpet, long and wide aluminum. Carpet swooshed up. I'm not even going to how. They just did. Stating a fact. Don't need a show right now. I need to get to a death. Grace operated. Can. No. Past tense. But let's get a better verb than can. Grace operated and assembled every ride of the traveling amusement park owned by US Ride and Joy. Carny Grace. What's I gotta think of, like, so I got this. Carny Grace swooshed up. Carny Grace operated and assembled every ride. of the traveling amusement park owned by U.S. Ride and Joy, owned by the corporation. Working for minimum wage. The legend of the I'm going to pay someone not even enough to live and expect excellence from them so they can earn it. It's like some initiation into the workforce. Instead with a whip, they just don't pay you shit. So let's put that in. This person has to be earned her 4th Employee of the Month, saving Ryan Wilson after his friends dared him to stand on the edge of the flying carpet ride and falling as the long and wide aluminum carpet swooshed up. Grace earned minimum wage and loved it. No, I don't want to make this like Pollyanna. I mean, that now I'm getting satirical. And maybe that's why. I mean, I got to kill someone soon because there has to be supernatural. I got a decent story. I got an hour and 33 minutes left. I think I'll be able to do this, maybe. But I got to remember supernatural. There has to be some sort of ghost or, I mean, that's maybe they die. And, well, but then I got to like, conflict person. This is like there's a ghost and it's haunting me. Boom. That's conflict. You don't want, unless you want to be haunted, then there's no conflict. And maybe you're a what is it, sadist? Having other people do cruel things to you, like haunting, and you get off on it. It's not that. I don't want to go there. I want to go with Grace earned her 4th Employee of the Month, saving Ryan. Grace earned minimum wage. And I'm not going to spell minimum right. Minimum wage. Working. And so most of those things, like you run the amusement on the weekend, you tear it down, you travel, you go to the next place. Long weekend amusement park. You're not going to do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That'd just be death on your, cells. So earn minimum wage, working, operating. How about constructing? This is constructing and constructed. How did I write this sentence? Let's go in. Constructed, operated, and assembled every ride of the traveling amusement park owned by the corporation U.S. Ride and Joy. Carny Grace. And so they are, in this sense, loved, sleeping. Oh my God, Carny Grace is going to die. That's right. The Legend of Carny Grace. And I'm going to put Carny on. They're Grace Carny. Oh my God, it's Grace Carny. That's their last name. And that's how I'm going to, I don't know if that's how you spell Carny, but that's how I'm going to spell Grace's last name. It's now going to be Grace Carny. Like Pecos Bill, I guess. I like Carny Grace, though. That has a better ring. And it would be just in line with the character. So I'm going to go Carny Grace. That just sounds more, more tall tale to me, in my totally subjective opinion. I could back it up with reasons why I did it. Whether it works or not is whether I guessed right for me, and if others agree. And if they don't, well, hey, guess what? Get used to it. That is life. No one's ever going to agree with you. Carny Grace. Okay. The Legend of Carny Grace. Carny Grace earned her 4th Employee of the Month, saving Ryan Wilson after his friends dared him to stand at the edge of the... I like how I'll have these great opening paragraphs because that's what I focus on a lot. And then I read the end and it's just like a scribbled poop. Thinking of the end. Let's write that first right now. I got a setup. And I think they might die. I think they love sleeping on the rides and in the tents. In the tents, dreaming of owning their own amusement park. So what's the? I got it. That's the conflict. There'll be the owner of the amusement, maybe the manager, somebody, some person that goes with the amusement park. Carny Grace dies by negligence of somebody else who is envious. No. I don't want to. I don't. I had a thought. I'll say it out loud because that's the whole point of this process, this game, is to map the path to the story based upon random parameters being generated and how I get there mentally. I mean, I thought of like the revenge story. You either go against revenge of the manager, or I could, which would be contrary. I think the word contrarian is appropriate to what I, at least I'm thinking, or it could be like the union wanting to kill the minimum wage worker because they're happy with the poop conditions they're given to live and the amount of work they have to do for so less. Is Carny Grace a robot? Maybe Carny Grace is a robot. And this could still be the past. What's the timeline? Where am I at here? So what do I got? Let's go back to this real quick. So setting time past, no, they can't be a robot. If it's just in the past, and I'm using a very close fictional world, at least that I have in my mind, and is probably objectively similar in the masses to most peoples that live in this area in the United States. It's past, so no robots. I could even put this 80s, 90s. I'm just going to put minimum wage and not a number. It does matter, I suppose. Because minimum wage, at least back in the 80s, it wasn't great. But you could get a lot more for your money then. And through cost of living and inflation and everything, it's not as worth as much as it is now. So we'll say this is around... It's not the 80s. It's not the 90s. Minimum wage was still crap, but it smelled a little better. Amusement park, yes. Person versus supernatural. I don't want a robot to die because that's going to be more like... I don't know. That's a whole other story about digital souls and all that. Not subject matter for a story that is a tall tale in an amusement park. Third person, past tense. I've hit the past tense. Grace dies. There are possible ways they die. Accidentally, through someone else's negligence, because there's no way Carny Grace is going to be the cause of their own death. Carny Grace is either through someone else's unintentional, negligence. That's the way I see it. I want an amusement ride killing Carny Grace. Evil manager. Why would you kill Carny Grace if you're a manager? You wouldn't. You would absolutely love paying Carny Grace minimum wage. He's very happy for it. A union who wants, maybe someone wants, no one wants Carny Grace dead. Everyone wants to work with Carny Grace. Is Carny Grace in the union? I'm going to throw that in there just to make it interesting. And maybe make it a plot point. If I put it in there, it'll be a reason. Like, Because if this was about like a tall tale about a union leader, it wouldn't be someone who's happy getting paid minimum wage. Maybe not. Maybe that's it. Maybe Carny Grace is forming a union to increase the minimum wage for everybody. And the manager kills Carny Grace by somehow sleeping in a tent. I gotta figure that out. Let me get this story. I got an hour and 24 minutes left. That there would be. I just would have to write a paragraph on that. I have to think of the death. Carny Grace dies. The other main character is the manager. Let's do that. Oh, yes. That's what Carny Grace loves, sleeping on the rides in the tents, dreaming of their own amusement park. Worked and owned by a unionized team. Of Carnies they could train. Let's see. Rides in the tents. Let's put a show. Let's show a little bit. One ride. Not the carpet ride. Like, there's the teacup one, but that could be many different things. There's the flying carpet ride, which I think people are familiar with American carnivals. We'll at least get some image, probably. Excuse me. The slingshot. Oh, shoot. No, she wouldn't. Grace, Carny Grace, would not sleep on the slingshot. Be a good way to die, though. I mean, you wouldn't leave the ropes up there at night, right? Like the slingshot. Let's set it up. The sky slingshot. The sky sling. And the milk bottle, the tents, like the milk bottle toss. I know, yeah. And like, that's also, I guess, something that would have to be understood too. And I have to understand it, constructing the story, even if it was larger, that there's only going to be a company that's responsible for the rides. There'll be many companies that follow it around to be able to sell what they're selling. I'm going to say the same company does some of the games too. No, I guess it would just probably do rides. Would just focus on your market and not, well, they want to spread out. This is, yes, we'll do that. The milk bottle toss. Dreaming of owning their own amusement park ran by in my past tense, love sleeping on the ride like skies in the tents, like the milk bottle and like milk bottle toss. Dreaming of owning their own amusement park. Their own amusement park ran by a unionized team of carnies they could train. Okay, so this. Okay, so this will write on. Um, the Wild Mouse ride, single car roller coasters, track raised and turns. Okay, I don't need this anymore. That's right. These are old words. Let's just get rid of them. I should have read them aloud to have them a little bit more or less ephemeral. I'm sure I read them aloud while I was typing them. Carny Grace earned her fourth. So we got to some dream on a carpet ride. I gotta set up management. Let's roll this dice one more time. We need some non-generic names today. Non-generic, actually just the opposite. Generic names that could be applied to any type of human, not just one that's been gendered male or female. I rolled a 3 again. So let's think of Randy. Let's go with one. I've known Randys, both male and female. And it worked. I wasn't confused. George. I'd be a little caught off guard if that gender flipped. But that's just me living many years of life where, and still, a labeled male human body by the name of George is less awkward than a female body labeled George as their first name. Maybe not their last, because then everyone just considers it somehow been applied or changed. And maybe it has meaning, but it really don't have much. It unionizes, I guess, if we're thinking a team of a collective of humans that share genes, which I can totally appreciate. And there is a certain connection there. But for Randy, that shit don't matter. Randy, the manager. Randy, manager running. The manager ran the operations for U.S. Ride enjoys rides and games. Randy told Grace, stop unionizing the workers for more pay. Manager Rick managed operations for U.S. Ride Enjoy Rides and Games. While Grace woke on the pile of yes, that's what they're going to do. One paragraph. And everyone knows. Okay, so I think I can get Grace killed in this paragraph. And then they come back. And they're a ghost. And they still unionize the workers. Who then realize they liked what they're doing. And bought their own outfit and left. And provided a better service. The middle manager who's just looking for a paycheck. Maybe they're a little jaded. I mean, everyone's looking for a paycheck because that's just how you live in life, at least where I live around in life. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's how it is. And given that, and given this is the past, like a revolution is going to happen, or has happened, maybe it will happen. Maybe it's going on right now. Who's to say? Well, Grace woke on the pile of, we'll say it's the sky sling. The sky sling harness. And rolled elastic rope, sling rope. I don't know. I'm just going to call it sling rope so people will know it's for the sling. And it'd be under a tarp. On the tarp, of the sky sling harness and rolled electric sling rope, Randy told Grace, stop unionizing the workers for more pay. Maybe it's early morning. Maybe they do it right now. Yes. Let's show that action. Manager Rick managed operations for U.S. Joyride in games while Grace woke on the tarp over the pile of the sky sling harness and a rolled elastic sling rope. Randy told Grace, stop unionizing the workers for more pay. Yes. She's, they, he, Grace. Carny Grace. I gotta put Carny Grace. That'll help me at least. I mean, because Carny Grace, come on. It could be anybody. You're really good at what you do. You need a name. Maybe it's a Carny name. Ain't no shame in getting paid. While Carny Grace woke on the tarp over the pile of the sky sling harness and a rolled electric sling rope, Randy told Grace, stop unionizing the workers for more pay. And I really should think, I got an hour and 12, but I should continue to go and not think this is simply a story right now. Randy told Grace, stop unionizing the workers for pay. Grace yawned, stretched. We need better. We need tents. I mean, would that be true? Well, let's do it. So Carny Grace woke on the tarp. We need tents. Randy and Carny Grace. I always got to be Carny Grace. Carny Grace yawned. There we go, and stretched. And Carny Grace talked about agreeing to increase pay for all operators and assemblers of the rides and games. Like, what's another game? Let's just throw, what's another ride? The twirling teacups. Teacups, not key cups. Teacups. And games like, not milk bottle toss, but one like the water. What? I need a name that describes the thing, like, but also at I don't know what, I'm lost at this point at least. And assemblers of the ride like twirling teacup and games like, come on, just Target time. We'll let the people decide whether that actually creates something in their mind enough to even be read. Randy and Carny Grace talked about engineering agreeing, talked about past tense. Increased pay. About increasing pay for all the operators and assemblers of the rides like twirling teacups and games like Target Time. They talked while Grace fastened the sling rope and folded the tarp onto the back. They have to test it. He has to test it. Grace will test it. I think somehow the manager is going to kill them right here. So I can get this in this paragraph. And then I don't know what's going to happen after that. We'll see. So Randy and Carny Grace talked about increasing pay for all the operators and assemblers of the rides. They talked. I always drop the Y. I think it's because of my finger. Maybe the buttons always get hit. They talked while Grace fastened the sling rope. Let's go with rope with a P-E. The sling rope and folded the tarp onto the back of the utility quad. They talked while Carny Grace fastened the harness to test the first person ride of the day. Oh, yes. Carny Grace is going to come a haunting. Upon the death, I got to write ahead just so I can get this out, of Carny Grace, the workers quit. They testified in a civil trial for the estate, of Carny Grace and U.S. Fun and Games. What do they call it? U.S. Ride and Joy. U.S. Ride and Joy. How can you sue U.S. Ride and Joy? Anyway, that's what it's going to be. Right now, at least. I should put an ampersand there because that would look super. Upon the death of Carny Grace, the workers quit to testify. Not again. I drop a Y. They testified in the civil in the civil trial. In the civil trial between parents of Carny Grace and U.S. Ride and Joy. They testified in the civil trial between the parents of Carny Grace and U.S. Ride and Joy. They found jobs. With smaller traveling something. They found jobs with smaller traveling. Amusement ride. That's so not really on the level of old tall tale action. Anytime you have the word companies. I don't know where I'm going with that right yet. They walked while Grace fastened the sling utility. They launched the sling. They talked while Carny Grace fastened the harness to test the first person ride of the day. Tested sling sky sling. 400 pounds. £100 dummy. And let's put this in the past tense. Let's not forget the why. It's not the tested. They tested the sky sling with 400-pound dummy. Carny Grace fastened the harness to the test. The first person ride of the day. They said, we're good people. I don't know where I'm going to go with this. I got to have some dialogue from Carny Grace. I got to be good. It's got to be good. It can't be just a terrible. Well, it can be terrible. My hopes and desires. It is not. I need the dialogue of Carny Grace to be a saying. Or worth more. What's a playoff of worth more is Carny Grace. Stood on the launch pad and looked to the sky. Randy. Well, Carny looked up. Carny Grace looked up. Let's do looked up, verb that. Let's put a little color in the sky. It's going to be a blue sky day. The blue sky. Well, Carny Grace looked up. Randy. Carny Grace would not. I mean, I would have to. I've never fastened someone to one of those sky slingshot rides where you're standing and it throws you up and you come down. I've seen them. You have a harness and then they harness you into it. I'm imagining somehow one side of the harness doesn't happen, so it just flings them and they fling over. I mean, what would happen? You would pull up and you'd launch and flap and hit. That's what I'm imagining. That's what's going to happen. Well, Carny Grace, Randy, unlink the left harness. Randy stood by the operating panel, by the gate. Yes. Randy pressed the release button. And flung Carny Grace the sky. Only on the left side. Flinging and hitting the base of the left side of Sky Sling. They testified the civil trial between the parent company parents of Carny Grace and the U.S. riding job. I gotta have. They just can't find jobs. They all tried to find jobs. What's Carny Grace gonna do? Carny Grace, I got 54 minutes. Okay, I have Carny Grace is now dead. I have Thing to Haunt. It's 2 characters. They're gonna be the manager. I mean, there's a lot of other sub characters, but there's 2 primary characters: the manager, Carny Grace. But it's fair to say Carny Grace is the one thing that's absolutely likely. Yeah. Maybe Ryan will be enough. I'll talk myself into it. I'm still in past tense. It's got to be flash fiction, so we got to finish the story. What's the end of the story? I need to write to it, and I want to write it now before I write it last, and it's just like a scribbly line of mixed words and mixed letters that form something that I could read aloud and feel like I did a thing. Carny Grace. Carny Grace haunted. In this flash fiction story, so could I somehow like even in death they were still the true Carny, like loving the process of what you need to do, which, and I think anything you do, you're going to have to try to at least find some amusement. I would hope for sanity at least. Carny Grace yawned and stretched. We need tens or money for also doing security for free. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. Fleeing into the sky, left slide. Upon the death of Carny Grace, do the workers quit? I don't even know how to end. I mean, this is I got the conflict. There's gonna be a ghost. The ghost of Carny. Upon the death of Carny Grace, no. The U.S. Right and Joy settled out of the court. For millions of dollars. Well, I don't know if that would mean much throughout time. It'll diminish. $1 million back when minimum wage could have meant something. $1 million was a lot. No longer the case. The workers testified, now billions even, seeming like. People mock it. They want the tea. 2 less. They all try to find, no, let's just they settle the court for $1 million. So Ryan, U.S. Ride and Joy. So U.S. Ride and Joy demoted manager Ryan. To assistant manager. Overseeing the games like ring toss, bottle ring toss, and only overseeing the game the workers. No, they said a lot of court, so there's no like what happens to the ride. I feel like they got their assistant manager, so they only that's right. So they can't do they still have a job. Despite the death of Carny Grace, Randy, the manager, I think it was we'll just say it is. Now only allowed to do the games. So the now ghost, Carny Grace, just is a tall tale. So, I I don't know where like tall tale. What's typically the tall tales the formation of something that is I guess observed or labeled. I don't know. I mean, I understand the concept of the tall tale. I'm just wondering, it's got to have some like connection to a physical thing, and that's why it exists. I'm thinking of the Finger Lakes, and I think that's what it was, and Babe the Blue Ox stepping on Minnesota. I think I've even been there before, but I say that out loud. I'm not going to search and correct my memory, which could be wrong. Was it the Big Dipper pulling it to save the drought or something like that? There was the wrestling of the tornado of Pecos Spill too. And so it's a way to describe how the Grand Canyon was formed, I think was one of them, or why tornadoes exist, or some great feat. So this is a great feat. It's not like why the traveling amusement park exists. It could. It very well could. But now that I've gotten like through union into this, that's the purpose and the reason. It keeps around the work. It's definitely triggering. Idea to some, but not to me. It's a great discussion point. Randy pressed the release button and flung Carny Grace into the sky on a slide. Carny Grace then, many of the workers found jobs at West Coast Roller Coaster and other seasonal amusement parks. And they're not going to testify. So had they testified in the civil trial between the parents, Carny Grace and U.S. Pride and Joy, I kind of got these sentences. I'm going to delete them. They're bad. Carny Grace's soul amused around the park. Boy. Oh boy. I don't know. What don't I know? What? So there's a conflict. Soul amused. Jobs. No. So right afterwards, none of them left. Many of the workers tried to find jobs. But their reputation from the death of Carny Grace rejected many from working for other businesses. The Carny Grace soul mused around the park and haunted the Carny Grace's soul. Soul roamed the amusement park. Inspecting the rides. And fastening roamed soul attached to that, attached to the slice lane. Sky sling. Operated by a new contracted right operator, not knowing of the history nor care of a true Carny, of care like Carny Grace. Carny Grace's ghost haunted, amused around the park, fixing soon stories spread through the workers about seeing a kid fling from the track, chasing a balloon. Like a ghost shoved her, getting whacked. Like a ghost pulled her from getting hit by a roller coaster car. Carny Grace. Let's go back to the purpose of the story. Conflict is supernatural versus person. I think is what I'll have. Carny Grace's I don't know. I'm lost. How do they haunt the manager? Like, I gotta have some tall tale haunting. Ooh, and it says Carny Grace says like a moan. Many claimed, while bundled in their sleeping bags. Um, Candlelight water gun. Lots of shooting games. Heard Carny Grace. Minimum wage? Sure. Manager, assistant manager. Oh, I know what it's going to be. Yes. Yes. That's kind of not like no one's going to die. I don't know how this is a tall tale. Carny, Carny Grace. Yeah, maybe. But I know this assistant manager, Ryan. Slept. Complained. Over the breakfast at Denny's. In his wide and long trailer. Traveling trailer home. Wide and long traveling trailer home. Assistant manager Ryan. The ghost of Carny Grace. Ooh, that's what it is. The ghost of Carny Grace is the name of the story. Not the legend, the ghost. Or the soul. Soul. The ghost is better. That doesn't. You can. I don't know if you could be an atheist and believe in ghosts. Sure, you could. It's a person's energy attached to a certain location. I don't know what that means. There's lots of things we don't understand. I just maybe not convinced the deity did it, or there could be an existence where it did. It's low probability, and if it did, I wouldn't care anymore. Carny Gray stood on the launch pad. Let's correct those. And looked at the blue sky. Let's look at it. Well, Carny Grace looked up, right, and linked the left harness. So we looked, we're flinging right. Let's go to the right harness. Because I already have it flinging. I'm reading back just to find closure. Randy stood by the operating paddle by the gate. Let's put the word by in there so I can actually probably remember to read that and say that aloud when I read it. And then, yes, Randy pressed the release button and flung Carny Grace to the sky, only to the left side, flinging her around and hitting the base of the left side of Sky Sling. Upon the death of Carny Grace, U.S. Bride and Joy settled out of court for millions of dollars. U.S. Bride and Joy demoted Manager Ryan to assistant manager and only overseeing games like bottle ring toss. Many of the workers tried to find new jobs, but the reputation from the death of Carny Grace rejected many from working for other businesses like West Coast Roller Coasters. After the death, Carny Grace's soul attached to the Sky Sling, operated by a new contracted ride operator, not knowing the history nor care like Carny Grace. Carny Grace's ghost amused around the park. Soon stories, man, that's a large jump. 27 minutes. I think I can get this. Carny Grace's soul attached to the Sky King, operated by a new contract rider, operating by a new contracted ride operator. Not knowing the history nor the care of the ride like Carny Grace. Carny Grace's ghost amused him around the park. Stories spread, amused around the park and spread stories. Stories like seeing a kid chasing a balloon on rocket coaster rail. As the rocket coaster rocketed a rocket coaster, and the rocket coaster, And the rocket coaster, you know, rocketed the kid, and the kid, and the kid, and the balloon stopped on the tracks, you know, and the kid just flung back like being pulled. And Minnie ended the story like a ghost pulling her from getting hit by a rocket coaster. Excuse me. And so let's change it here so it'll be a lot better. What time is it? I got 23 minutes left. Rocket coaster, yo. Rumors spread about Carny Grace helping kids and parents win big at the games, like the story. Saving people from choking. Rumors spread about the ghost of Carny Grace saving people from choking, and what's you're not going to have so many sling accidents. You're not going to have many. And holding an unfastened magic carpet ride. Even more rumors spread about Carny Grace. Helping kids and parents, helping people win, everybody win at the games by the blessing of Carny Grace. The game operators after of people completely missing the throw at the stacked milk bottles. And still the milk bottles fell. or like the time at the water balloon burst, the water chute balloon. Managers, Rick's manager, Ryan's manager, complained to Ryan. It's really hard to lose money giving worthless prizes. Ryan began to fire the workers. While the rumors spread throughout the industry that assistant manager Ryan, is cursed by Carny Grace. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just going to write it. I'll read it aloud. I got 16 minutes left. I think I'm getting someplace. Excuse me for that. I want to move this sentence. I want to keep it. And we're just coming up on time. I only got 15 minutes left. We'll probably... Oh, come on now. Let's do this. I want this sentence. I should copy it, then delete it. There we go. Now I can remove it. Assistant manager Ryan is cursed. And caused a large settlement. Oh my God, this tall tale is so sleepy and boring. It's cursed by Carny Grace. Let's not go anywhere else. It's cursed by Carny Grace. The Curse of Connie Grace. Was a blessing to the workers as they got offers for other jobs. I'm trying to finish this up. I don't know where the hell this is going. I got my mind on some weird political union worker tangent for a tall tale. Flash fiction style. And this is all about while Ryan continued to lose. We gotta let you go. U.S. Pride and Joy. Sold off. Their amusement division was bought by the workers. A group of workers bought the Sky Sling. I don't know, this is something. Sky Sling. And what time is it? Like 11 minutes. A group of workers bought the Sky Sling and toured the nation, growing a unionized amusement co-op. With the soul of, I don't know, Carny Grace. With the ghost of Carny Grace. Carny Grace. Bargained. Help people win a game. I don't know. I think that's where I'd like to go with this story if I edited it, because I remember it's like, this is why this was created. I don't think I have that set up quite. It's more in story form. Flash fiction at that. This is probably scribbles at the end, and I'm going to have to live with that fact. I think I can. I'm pretty sure, I hope at the end, did I do past tense? This is, I really hope I did. I'm just going to skip like this. Let's just do fast forward. No, I did not. Fuck. Okay, sometimes I did. Sometimes I didn't. Let's read this aloud and be done. And I'll rank it and I'll rate it, but I'm going to go through over the story elements for today's stochastic fiction game. Drink a little water. This stochastic fiction game with the story elements that are setting time past, setting main location amusement park, conflict person versus supernatural, quantity of primary characters 2, point of view 3rd, tense past tense, genre tall tale, format flash fiction. This is the story inspired by time and existence. I never worked as a carny. Only a farmer. I always found the lifestyle interesting. I do vendor at book festivals, and I wouldn't call them carnies at the book festivals, but there are people that definitely sell a specific good and go to every single book festival or Comic-Con or retro gaming con to sell a product. And they travel a lot. And maybe that's where I got a little bit of this. I don't know where this came from. The joy of it. Something Wicked This Way came, maybe. That was a traveling circus or amusement. But that's not where it went. This is a tall tale, supposedly. This tall tale is going to be called The Ghost of Carny Grace. The Ghost of Carny Grace. Carny Grace earned her 4th Employee of the Month, saving Ryan Wilson from his friends. Hold on, time out. I made the manager Ryan. I'm glad I stopped. I knew I had. Let's see, Randy, not Ryan. Let's do this. Oh shoot. Randy. It turned to Ryan. I still have Randy. I just got to make sure. I don't want to say Ryan. It's going to feel awkward if I may have. Yes, assistant manager Randy. Not Ryan. I got to fix this. I want to read it right. Or try to at least. I got time. Randy. And Randy. Well, that's what I get for making R names. They both have Y's and R's. Randy. My God, how many Ryans do I have here? Where it should be manager Randy. All these potential times I would have been mistaken. Randy. Guess who? I got another Randy, not Ryan. At least I got past tense here. I mean, I feel proud of doing something right. Whoa, there. Let's not do this. Let's do this, though. Ryan. Oh, I'm at the top. Yes, I got Randy's and Ryan's. And Carny Grace's. Let's just do this. I'm going to turn off the timer because I don't want to go off while I read. It's just going to make me a little jump scare and forget where I'm at. Let's read it. I've already done the story elements. I don't need to do that again. For today's stochastic fiction game, this story, flash fiction story, called The Ghost of Carny Grace. The Ghost of Carny Grace. Carny Grace earned her 4th Employee of the Month, saving Ryan Wilson after his friend dared him to stand at the edge of the flying carpet ride and falling as the long and wide aluminum carpet swooshed up. Carny Grace earned minimum wage and constructed, operated, and assembled every ride of the traveling amusement park owned by the corporation U.S. Ride and Joy. Carny Grace loved sleeping on the rides like the sky sling and the tents like the milk bottle toss, dreaming of owning their own amusement park, ran it by a unionized team of carnies they could train. Randy Manager managed operations for U.S. Ride and Joy rides and games, while the Carny Grace woke on the tarp over a pile of the Sky Sling harness and rolled elastic sling rope. Randy told Grace, "Stop unionizing the workers for more pay." Carny Grace yawned and stretched. "We need tents or money for also doing security for free." Randy and Carny Grace talked about increasing pay for all the operators and assemblers of the rides, like twirling teacups and the games like Target Time. They talked while Grace fastened the sling rope and folded the tarp onto the back of the utility quad. They talked while they tested the Sky Sling with a 400-pound dummy. Carny Grace fastened the harness to the test for the first-person ride of the day. They said, "As a union, we're worth more than the sum of our parts." Carny Grace stood on the launch pad and looked at the blue sky. While Carny Grace looked up, Randy unlinked the right harness. Randy stood by the operating panel by the gate. "Ready?" "Yes." Randy pressed the release button and flung Carny Grace to the sky, only on the left side, flinging her around and hitting the base of the left side of the Sky Sling. Upon the death of Carny Grace, U.S. Ride and Joy settled out of court for millions of dollars. U.S. Ride and Joy demoted manager Ryan to assistant manager and only overseeing games like bottle ring toss. Many of the workers tried to find new jobs, but the reputation from the death of Carny Grace rejected many from working for other businesses like West Coast Roller Coaster. After their death, Carny Grace's soul attached to the Sky Sling, operated by a new contracted ride operator, not knowing the history nor the care of the ride like Carny Grace. Carny Grace's ghost amused around the park and spread stories. Stories spread like a kid chasing a ball on the roller coaster rail. And the roller coaster, rocked the kid, and the kid and the ball stopped on the tracks, and the kid just flung back like being pulled. And Minnie ended the story with, like the ghost pulling her from getting by the rocket coaster. Late at night, Minnie claimed, while bundled in her sleeping bags and tents of games like the Candlelight Water Shoot, that they heard the Carny Grace reciting their rights to earn more than minimum wage. Assistant manager Ryan complained over his breakfast at Denny's about a moan that sounded like union in his wide and long traveling trailer home. Rumors spread about the ghost of Carny Grace saving people from choking and holding unfastened magic carpet ride as its wobbly base slid side to side and up and down. Even more rumors spread about Carny Grace helping people win at games. By the blessing of Carny Grace, the game operator said, after many instances of people completely missing the throw at the stacked milk bottles, and still the milk bottles fell, or like the time at water shoot balloon, when a balloon inflated and burst at the same time all day, giving out double prizes and wins. Carny Grace's ghost made sure every ring toss won games. Randy's manager complained to Randy, "It's really hard to lose money giving worthless prizes to winners. But you're losing money." Ryan began firing the workers while the rumors spread throughout the industry that assistant manager Randy cursed by Carny Grace. The curse of Carny Grace was a blessing to the workers. They got offers for other jobs while Randy continued to lose almost every game. "We got to let you go," said Randy's manager as Randy sat in their home trailer. "We need to move out by tonight." U.S. Ride and Joy sold off their amusement division. A group of workers bought the Sky Sling and toured the nation, growing a unionized amusement co-op with the ghost of Carny Grace leading their souls. The ghost of Carny Grace bargained with the union to allow the ghost to let them help people win a game once in a while, to make them smile. That's why it's called the blessing of Carny Grace. Maybe. It was fun. It's written. Let's add this story to the archive, and let's log what it is. So when I edit this, I'll log what I've done. Write the story, given the time and the game. The story feels to be a 3. I can do some fun with it. I could at least smile at it. I got to do my rankings again, but 3 or 4. Well, that was a stochastic fiction game for the day. Until the next time. the next game. Try to find your worker rights. Find common people and common souls that will help you along.